All right, y'all. So I'm with Coach Steph Brown, wide receiver specialist, man. So first and foremost, man, tell us a little about this camp that you had today with the kids, man. What are you trying to give? Tell us a little about this camp that you had today with the kids, man. What are you trying to give back? What's the initiative? What's kind of the purpose behind the camp?
Oh, so this is my third annual Make 'em Believe Stop the Violence Youth Camp. So Believe with a 17. I was number 17 in college, and I started my nonprofit foundation to raise awareness about gun violence and just bringing awareness in the community. I was a victim of gun violence, like right down the street right here.
Wow.
I was taking a kid home for training, drive-by shooting. I got hit. So I just wanted to do something special for the kids in the neighborhood. Like, this is where I caught my first pass. My family out here, you know what I'm saying, my older brothers, like, got people out here that really support me and care about what I'm doing. So that's really the biggest reason I wanted to.
Got you, man. It was a great camp. We got some good highlight film, one-on-ones. I just love the initiative, what you're trying to do for the kids. So it's obviously great. But walk me through, man, your story, right? I've seen you've blown up. You do big stuff. You train professional athletes, college athletes.
Right.
Walk me through, what's your story, right? Where did you start from? And then, you know, where'd you play football at when you were in high school?
I played at Henry County High School. That's where I graduated from. I was an all-state receiver there. Came up short a little bit on my ACT. Had to go to prep school. I went to Atlanta Sports Academy. I was a prep school All-American. Ended up signing with WKU. Went there. Coach Taggart recruited me. Played for Bobby Petrino, Jeff Braun. Played with some great coaches up there. Didn't have no real decorated career. Had a couple injuries, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Won a lot of games. Played with a lot of draft picks, stuff like that. So it was like, you know, I just wanted to figure out my next move. I was the first person in my family to get a college degree. I ended up getting 2 because I started coaching. But the biggest thing when I got done playing, I was just trying to figure out like what I wanted to do. But my athletic director, Todd Stewart at WKU, he was like, man, did you ever think about coaching? Like, you was a coach on the field. And I was like, nah, like I ain't never really, you know what I'm saying, I never really thought about it. So a little time went by, I came back home for a little bit. I was working in the factory on Food Industrial.
Wow.
So I was working a little bit, and Mr. Stewart came back down, and he had like a convention or something down here in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Nice.
And I happened to be off, and he was like, man, nah, like, I'm gonna hire a new coach, you know what I'm saying? I want you to be on the staff. Right. I was like, man, I'll take it, you know what I'm saying? So became a grad assistant up there, did that for 2 years, learned a lot. My first year ever coaching was in college, so I had to learn the etiquette of how to be a coach, like how to be on time, staff meetings, being on time, checking classes, doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, like a mini position coach. So I got it in early, so my first year coaching was 17, and then 18. In that 2 year span, I coached receivers, running backs, DBs. I moved around a little bit, so I learned like both sides of the ball. That was great. You know what I'm saying? I did that, and then when I got done, I got into training. My brother TJ, you know, he was training me a little bit, and then like I just used to come record him. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, bro, you got plenty of knowledge. Like, you know what's going on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you, you know what I'm saying, do this, do that. Like, so I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm making myself like, I'm training, I'm doing what I'm doing. And he was like, man, like, I wanted to start my own little deal.
Right.
And he was like, man, just get in with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just get in, you know what I'm saying? So him, our CEO, Stephon McGill, my little brother, TJ Rahman, Keenan Humphrey, Bingo Morton, all them boys, we all together. So we just made it a big thing. And then when I got to training, I was training like, you know, youth kids at first, like right down here in the neighborhood. I had 4 kids I started with. Started with them first, training them for free. Then after that, it just got big. Like social media. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like me, I never really tried to, like, I ain't really a standout type of guy. I'm a blend in type of guy. Right. So like now, like I gotta talk, I gotta be on cameras and stuff like that. But it's cool. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't really get in no type of stuff no more. So it's like it's cool for me to show my face and stuff. So
yes, sir.
It's just fun.
So tell me about right now. I think you're the coach at Cal. You're the wide receiver coach there.
Yeah, I'm the wide receiver coach in Co-OC.
Okay, so man, tell me what's your role there, man. I mean, y'all got some talent this upcoming season, man. So tell me a little about. Obviously, I know Kyle Vaca, Payne Zachary's a dog. But what's some things you train them up on and get them prepared for the season with about 3-4 weeks away?
I think the biggest thing with them is just the mental aspect of it. This gonna be Peyton's second year, so he knows the system. He understands what's going on. Now it's just working on the little things. Him being a leader, you know what I'm saying, just conditioning. You know what I'm saying, getting better, like getting that timing down with Bryce, like stuff like that. And Kyle, he like a grad transfer for us, so it's like I need everything you can get right now. But just teaching him, you know, just how the game works, and like just we're not preparing for his senior year. We're preparing for his freshman year of college, so it's a different type of routine with him. But really, my role is, you know what I'm saying, like I got say so in the past game, like Coach May, like I've been with him. This is my 4th, 5th year with him, so he trusts me. My whole coaching staff, they're a great group of guys. We do a lot. it's like this year we don't really pay attention to like rankings and all that type stuff. Like Coach May always just say, don't feed in, don't read the newspaper clippings, don't feed into the rat poison. You know what I'm saying? So, because I remember nobody knew about us. Now people talking about it, so it's like that's cool. We still want y'all to. We still feel like we got something to prove. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't did nothing. We won 10 games. That ain't enough. We lost in the second round. 12 games. That ain't enough. We need 3 more. So 15 games to go.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. And then tell me about, okay, so now let's break down the specifics of a wide receiver, right? Now you're a specialist at this, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the top 4, it's route running, it's your release, it's catching, and then it's like, gosh, I'm forgetting the other one. But I know that's like the top 3. But in your eyes, what's the top one you think out of them 3 or 4 that got to focus on?
Me is 5 things.
Right.
Stance and start. Yep. Releases. Getting in and getting out your breaks, catching the ball cleanly and finishing. I think that's the biggest 5 things you got to have to be an effective receiver. Now, if you could do all 5 of them things good, you elite. But some people have to learn. Some people don't even know how to get in the stand. So it's like I can't try to train you if we don't. It's baby steps. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different strokes for different folks. So I just try to get people to understand like playing the wide receiver position. It's an art. You know what I'm saying? You put the You put the brush to the canvas. Like I can only teach you so much, but when that ball in your hand, you got to go be who you are. But at the same time, like we critique. It's not like training with me and my brother is not like, oh, we out here just to get on Instagram. It's like, nah, we're going to teach you. We just now starting to get around the cameras and allowing people to see what we doing and stuff like that because we just felt like, we try to keep it close-knit. But now it's like so many people want the knowledge. It's like now we got to explain what we do to show that we're credible, for what we're doing. Yes,
sir. And then tell me, man, if a receiver comes to you like, Coach, I want to improve my route run, I want to improve my releases, what's the first thing you tell them?
I tell them, like, look, first thing I say, what do you do outside of where you go to school or what do you do outside of where you play? That's where it comes, like the extra work, you got to put it in. So, I never really personally had to ask nobody to train with me. I never really had to ask nobody to come play for me. It's just a thing like when people see what you're doing and they know it's effective, like TJ trained me, on the back end, like when I was getting ready for my pro day and stuff. But I learned so much from him, like to the point where the knowledge I already had, it's like now, like, okay, I know this, but I get knowledge from people. I don't know everything. So if I don't know, I ask questions. I never tried to, kick this ultimate poise like I just knew everything or something like that. I ask questions like I need help from people too. So it's like I think just understanding like that like you're never as good as you're gonna be. You always got to get over that hump, and that's what I try to instill in my players.
It's another level you can get.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, 2 more questions. I'll let you go. One, gosh, lost my train of thought again. Oh man, it's tough.
Take your time. I've been waiting to do this with you for a minute.
Yes, 100%. Okay. All right, so. Let's say you train a professional athlete, so give me kind of the nuances of, is it any different training somebody like a Kyle Walker or a Peyton Zachary in high school compared to training somebody like a Stephon Diggs or, a Devontae Adams in the world? Like, if you had to train one of those, is there any difference you have to do, or is it kind of the same thing?
Well, it is. It is, but it isn't. So you have some guys that are vets, and you got some guys that are young and rookies, you know what I'm saying? So if I train a guy for pre-draft, it's a transition you got to get over to being a pro. Now, Peyton can train with a pro because he's been with me so much. You know what I'm saying? He understands what's going on. But if I'm training Calvin Ridley, I'm not going to train him like I train Kyle. You know what I'm saying? Because Rid is elite at what he does. I'm not training him. I'm just critiquing a little stuff. So it's a difference. Like, Calvin Ridley, one of the best route runners in the NFL. And that's just one person I'm naming that we train. You know what I'm saying? But also that had guys that's been around him like a Cam Perry or a Justin Franklin or a Caleb Webb, you know what I'm saying, that me and TJ been training, that they look like that now because they've been doing it so long and they done been around them type guys. So I think with the older guys, to answer your question, it's more like critiquing. It ain't really coaching and training. It's just more like you could do that a little bit different. You could do it this way. You could, you got a little bit more time to do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
cleaning it up.
Yeah, it's like, so we could watch the film and, you know what I'm saying, critique it, but like with a high school guy, no, you're going to do it this way because this is what they want. You know what I'm saying? This is what I know what they want to see. But I could teach, like, I just feel like the kids that I coach, like, at Kel, they cheating. Like, I'm teaching, like, when pros and, you know what I'm saying, the pros and the college guys go back, I'm with y'all from August to December. They not here. So it's like, if you don't take advantage of it, that's on you. But it's like, I'm instilling in you, but I'm not going to make you do nothing that you already should want to, you know what I'm saying, want to do. You feel me?
100%. And then tell me, too, about, Coach, if there's a receiver out there, right, he's underrated, obviously, social media, and you even say you're not big on it, but you know what comes with it, right? So receiver, he want to get more notice, he want to continue to get better. How does he go about doing that in kind of the world, getting more exposure? What would you say to that? Like maybe if it's camps, is it 7-on-7s? How would you tell a receiver to get a little bit more exposure?
I think the first thing, you got to ask yourself where you go to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is your coach? Like, is somebody pushing you? Like, somebody, like, not pushing you to be a better player, just pushing your name. Because I done heard some coaches be like, it's not my job to get you in school. What is your job? You know what I'm saying? Because I think, like, I always felt like this. Like, my head coach always told me it's our job to get these kids in school. You know what I'm saying? So, like with Coach May, like, we have to report to him how many times we talk to college coaches. Like, he just sealed the deal. We do all the talking. He just closed the deal. So it's like, we take the recruiting stuff serious because it's like, if you tell my kid you're going to offer him and you don't, or you tell him he commit, he can't, I'm going to be on you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, don't waste our time. Yeah. He can only pick one school, and if he's taking his time out to be interested in you, do that. So I would just tell a kid, just understand where you go to school, who do you train with, are you getting better in that system, and does that system fit you? Because a lot of kids playing systems that don't fit them. You can't be a receiver and playing a wing tee and think you're going to get looked at unless you're just getting the ball. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's like parents got to do their homework. And then, you know, the biggest thing, like getting the kids in the clearinghouse, making sure they take the test, making sure they understand what's going on, getting involved with your guidance counselor, like stuff like that. That's the type of stuff we talk about. And I think that's the biggest thing with me. Like, it was helpful because I coached college ball. Right. So I knew exactly what was needed for you to even be qualified. I had a receiver sign to a school every year that I coached in high school. So it's like, the deal was already done before, you know, like we already sealed it up, made sure what it was. 100%. You know, it's just like, so I always take pride in like making sure my guys are prepared before they get in there. Because if you're not prepared, you're going to redshirt or you're going to transfer. So it's like all the coaches that I talk to, I deal with, you know what I'm saying, whatever like that, they just keep telling me like, Coach, they're prepared. They know what's going on. They understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to tell them too much. They understand. They run the drill work because we rep it. And I talk to college coaches all the time. So it's like I'm asking them like, Coach, I want to speak your language. You know what I'm saying? So I can reiterate it back to them. But that's also giving me something else to, you know what I'm saying, use. So I think just understand, like, camps help too, but you got to know what camps to go to. You can't go to the camps where all the ranked guys at and you ain't a ranked guy. You know what I'm saying? So why not go to a mega camp? Why not go to a realistic camp? If you ain't getting recruited by Georgia, why you there? You know what I'm saying? Like, go to a WKU, go to a FAU, go to a UCF. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that give you a look. Like, and even if it's a lower level, like, understand, people got to understand what type of players they are. Everybody want to be D1. Everybody want to go to the league, but it ain't going to happen. But you got to go where you want it and not tolerate it. That's my biggest thing. You know what I'm saying?
100% agree with that. And then two more, I will let you go. Yeah. This one, right? So, wide receiver. Tell me how important deception and leverage is playing the wide receiver position, right? I only say deception because you have to play off how the corner's playing you. So sometimes you got to get that inside leverage, and then you can fake them inside and go out. Right. How important is that in the game, and how important to use the leverage of a corner against them in order to help yourself out and get open?
I mean, I was a deceptive receiver. I wasn't a burner, but I could get up on you and run by you. So it's like, you just got to know, like, leverage, coverage, you know what I'm saying, and IDing what you see. Like, reading your triangle, knowing what's going on. If somebody playing you off, they can come down, snap at the ball. So you got to have your eyes up, know what's going on. But I like deceptive receivers because it's like they try to label you a certain thing and then you pop out and give them something different. Right. I personally think that's what Kyle is. I think that's what Kyle Vaki is. Like, people don't really know how fast he is, but he has football speed. But at the same time, he can run by you and line you up and also run an intermediate route to make it look the same. And I think that's what I done started teaching him. So being deceptive, it matters, you know what I'm saying, playing the position, because you see a lot of guys that's 4'5" and 4'6" guys that run by 4'2" guys. So that just tells you, like, if I know what I'm doing, I could be effective in any type of way. You got to win at the release point, whether that's, you know what I'm saying, like, whether that's in phase or out of phase. In phase meaning in your face, out of phase meaning he playing off. You got to be able to get up on him and give him something and win right now, but also be able to do it within the scheme.
Right. And then last thing, Coach, how can we come and support you, man? Just like, how can we stay up on what you're doing? What's your Twitter handles, Instagram? Just how can we always stay knowing what you're doing and just helping out the community?
Oh, definitely. Both of my Twitter and my Instagrams, they the same. So Coach Brown _MDN and Top Shelf _Steph. That's two pages that I got. You got the ball? That's 2 pages that I got, and then my foundation. Here you go. My foundation, the Make 'Em Believe Foundation too. I just made an Instagram for that. My managers, they did that for me, got it set up, and that's how I do a lot of the stuff in the community. But I got a question for you though, if you don't mind.
You want to take the mic?
I wanted to do this, y'all. I wanted to do this. So let me ask you.
Holla at me.
First of all, I wanted to say I appreciate what you're doing for these kids. First of all, because when I first seen him, I'm like, man, this dude, like, he ain't being biased or nothing. He being straightforward. I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people in this business, they try to, you know, go with the, you know what I'm saying, go with the who's and all that. You a guy that finds people, so I appreciate that. But what made you get into this stuff?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is one of my passions, man. I've been watching like Sports Center since I was a little kid, quoting different things, man. So I ain't gonna lie, man. I've always loved this. Man, like back in the day, it's crazy. I'll tell you a quick story. So my dad's a Philly fan, so I was quoting off stats, telling him which players would be playing which positions, telling him why this team is gonna win. I was doing that at like 6 years old.
So you've been in it?
Yeah, I've been in it. So like, man, I would wake up like I wake up like 5 a.m. I'd be watching Sports Center before I go to school every day. So like, that really helped me, and man, I just love giving back, man. And my whole thing with the exposure, It's tough out here, man. I know how it is.
Right.
I used to play when I was younger. I played till I was about 13, 14 football.
Right.
And I know how tough it is to get on somebody's radar.
Exactly.
So I just try to get them exposure. It may help, it may not. But, you know, like one, for example, I don't know if you seen my thing with Ryan Jenkins, but he was like underrated, right? No one talked about him, and then he blew up to a 3-star. And I just love being able to find them early.
But you made that happen for him, though.
Yes.
It's like you put light on something that nobody was really paying attention to, and that was my thing. Like, that's what I see that you do, and I appreciate that because it's like, you know, opinions matter when you know what you're talking about. You clearly know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Because it's like, and that's why I say I appreciate you just coming out here showing love to me.
No, I got to, man. I've been wanting to do this interview with you, man. You cool peoples, man. I seen you at multiple big time events. I seen you at NIL summits, man. So I know you big time, man. And just you taking out this time just mean a lot to me, man. And if you got people like that, you know, receivers, hey man, that's actually what I need to ask you before I let you go too, about the receivers and DBs that's coming up and to keep an eye on. But if you got people like, hey, nah, check this person out,
I got
man, let me know.
We're gonna keep that out on camera. I'm gonna send them some guys y'all don't know about.
Yeah, we're gonna keep that on camera. We're gonna leave that out. But yeah, real quick, man, just who's some guys, man, just like 25, 27. I think we talked a little bit and you was like, man, these guys, like, I ain't gonna lie, man, like 25, 26 DBs might be better than some of these receivers. But
because I felt like the receivers this year was kind of like a drop off. Like the 24 receivers, you already knew where they was going. You knew about them. The DeBron Gallons, the JoJos, the Mikes, Mike Matthews. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like that, Kyle. Like you know about them type guys, but I think the 25 class got the receivers.
Really?
Like just being like all the way on it. You got Giovanni McGee at Langston, Jabari Jones at Langston, Jerome Bettis Jr. at Langston, Josiah Abdullah at Woodward. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Jerome, he's at Woodward now. He's at Woodward now. Yeah, he's at Woodward now. But it's like just off the top of my head, like, you know, even with our 7-on-17, like we had kids that was coming out of that Peyton 26. I don't really know about a whole lot of guys at 26, but it's just like I think that 25, 26, and 27 class is gonna be like back, kind of like how it was when I was in school because they training. Them kids been training since they was young, so it's like kids that train, they always get the upper hand. You know what I'm saying? So I think the 25 through 27 class, that's gonna be a big deal. I think they're gonna be a real big deal.
100%. Well, y'all, man, I appreciate Coach Steph inviting me out here, being here with him, man. He's a great guy, man. If y'all get to know him, go follow him, man. I really appreciate everything he's doing for these kids, man, and just giving back, man. So this is the third annual, what you call it, third annual youth camp?
Yeah, it's the Stop the Violence, Make 'em Believe youth camp.
Stop the Violence, Make 'em Believe camp, man. So he's going to have it again next year, right? Yep. Same time, about 3 weeks before school starts. So, man, y'all check him out. Go follow him all on the socials, man. I appreciate him taking the time.